Howdy team, hope you're well. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the virtuous cycle of learning, the importance of continued learning, and why you need to be making time for it in your day, because I know particularly in financial services at the present time it is extremely busy, and the temptation when you get busy is to drop the things that sometimes made you busy in the first place. For example, the number of mentees that join my academy wanting to generate more leads and more clients and more sales, and they hit the ground running, they generate inquiries, and then roughly 3-6 months in they go, oh my god, I've got too many leads. So what do? They take a step back and they stop doing what got them to where they are. And then in another 3 to 6 months they're going, oh my god, I've got no many and I've got no leads again. And this is where it's important to have that consistency. It's important to make sure that you understand the areas in which you need to focus in your business. You know, I often find the main reason people leave my membership and leave my support is because of the lack of usage, the lack of implementation, and the lack of understanding time and chunking time. For example, if you look at a day, and you look at school as the perfect example. I've made this analogy before. I heard it from a good friend of mine, Emma Mills. When you go to school, you have a lesson from 9 until 10, and then you have a break, and you have your milk and your apple, and then you go back and you do another lesson, and it's on a different subject. Then you're having your lunch, and you get 20 minutes for lunch and 40 minutes for play, and then you've got another lesson after that. And chopping and changing, but focused on one particular lesson for that period of time for a focused task gets more done during that period of time. It means that you are able to double down and to work hard on just that particular one area. And for 10 years, I didn't do this. You know, I was buying leads, I didn't focus on marketing. And when you actually break down business into impact areas, the most areas that constantly need to be reviewed, but also maybe the areas where you need to delegate and leverage more and allocate out certain tasks. Marketing is a big one. Without marketing, you can't create sales, and you need to have salespeople within your business, and you need to be making sure that they're being monitored and managed in order to make sure that you're getting the sales and the results that you want from the leads that are being generated. And then as the sales come in, you have an administrator who supports the sales team. And then you might have your finance team where you're looking at, you know, your profit and loss every month, you're doing your reconciling on Xero or QuickBooks or whatever you choose to use, and then you have your accountant at the end of the year. And it's vital that in as quickly as possible, you leverage as many of those hats as possible out. And you look at it as an investment, not as a cost. Because if your hourly rate is £20 an hour, but you're paying somebody else to do a job that's £10 an hour, you're actually better off because you're making more money during the time that you're spending it being more effective and more efficient. And I think, yeah, exactly, we are all guilty at times. Me at times, I'm still guilty of it, of doing things that potentially I shouldn't be doing, that aren't my superpowers, where I could be putting more energy and effort into creating new content, producing new courses, working closer with my mentees, helping them get more results, providing more coaching, giving more support. And it's about making sure that the time and allocation is better in the day. And there comes a point where you need a PA. You need someone who can manage you to a degree. And I'd love to know, what is your biggest struggle at the moment? Is it time? And when you struggle for time, you know, one of the key things that I love to do is get my most important work done first. You know, the things that I know that if I left them till after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they just wouldn't get done. Marketing and social media being one of them. The amount of times I think about doing live videos in the evening and I'm just never committed for it, because by that point I've been up since 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, the kids are in bed, I'm chilling out with the wife, I'm catching up and engaging on social media, I've had a shower, I'm in my vest and my pants. The last thing I want to be doing is going live, although I might get some engagement if I did a live in my vest and pants. And it's just one of those things that you've got to work with a day that's efficient to you. Your day is not going to be the same as mine, your day is not going to be the same as others, but it's about being efficient, it's about being effective. And the more marketing you do, the more sales you're going to create, the more profit that's going to bring into the business, the more admin team you're going to need. And it's most important to understand your minimum standards of performance. It's all well and good, you know, if you do one post a day is going to be better than if you're doing one post every other day. It's better to do consistent one post a day than a week of posting and then a week of no posting, because the algorithm rewards you for being consistent. Much like if you're a child, you imagine treating social media like your child. If you're dipping in and out and you're not making time for it, and you're not documenting your journey and creating content for your audience, then that's going to make it really, really difficult for you to get the results that you ultimately want to seek. We're all guilty. You know, no one's perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. Some days are easier and better than others. But the vital thing is to make sure that you are continually watering your plant. You are continually planting seeds. You are continually building muscle. And that can be in the sense of willpower. That can be in the sense of physical muscle. It's why I go to the gym in the morning. It's my non-negotiable. It's my starts my day. But also I invest in myself every day. Some of it podcasts, some of it audiobooks, a lot of coaching and mentoring, courses, online courses, and you just allocate time to those specific tasks every day. When I was writing my book, I'm 26,000 words. I've got to do the second edit. I keep procrastinating about it. I'm going to get back to doing, a check every single day, first thing in the morning from next month, so I can get it done in a month, ready to go to publish, or at least ready to go to editing, to then be checked by I want 5 people to have a look at it, because I want it out by the end of the year. It's all focused on lead generation. And in order to do it, when I wrote 1,000 words every day for 25 days, and I've got a 25,000 word book. But you have to make that commitment. Some days, admittedly, I was just too busy, there was other priorities and I missed it. But then on a weekend, or when I wasn't as busy, I then did an extra couple of 1,000 words. When I was in flow, I just kept going. So sometimes I was ahead of myself. And you've got to understand that it's great to have the consistency, but doing a little bit every day is what's going to get you the results that you ultimately seek. And I see too many people, particularly in financial services, acting like no other industry, looking for the quick win. It's so wrong that you just think buying leads is going to be the answer to marketing and building a business. If you're a personal trainer, if you're a beautician, if you're an accountant, if you're a solicitor, if you're an electrician, a will writer, financial services professional in any means or capacity, when you're employed and you go self-employed, you don't have the facility to buy leads. Okay, if you're in trade, you get Checker Trader, for example. Maybe there's a few other websites for some certain companies. But what do? You start using social media, you ring everybody you know, you become massively proactive, you get to networking events, you go on some courses looking at what you can invest your money in, knowing that you're going to get an immediate return. You've got to switch from that employee mindset into business owner mindset. And the business owner mindset is not how much is it going to cost, it's how much is the investment and what can it return me. If you're going to pay £1,000 to get 2,000 back, would you do that? Would you pay £1,000 now, knowing that you could go and do something as a result of learning to get £2,000 back, if not more? Because Warren Buffett says the best investment you make is in yourself, because you've got that skill for a lifetime. It's why I made the decision in 2016 that I was going to learn marketing. I think marketing is the lifeblood of the business. It is 101. It's the most important aspect. It comes down to understanding your personal brand, knowing who your ideal client is, being able to attract and gain their attention online. And when they start coming to you, you're then able to double your sales. But also sales has changed considerably because of the Google moment of truth, the ZMOT as they called it. You can give it a Google. If they went back on the buying history of people, and generally people are investing 7 hours online looking for the right choice of product, looking at reviews, reading emails, watching videos, being in all these different areas, as well as getting recommendations from social media, and then they're buying the product. So the idea is, from a selling point of view, is it's not just about closing them on the phone and getting them to the phone. It's about taking them from social media and putting them into your world. And I think you need to keep learning and improving, because one tweak in a conversation, for example, one of my mentees said he tested one of my statements when it comes to protection, and in doing that made £300 per month premium. Now, as a rough kind of guide, you're looking at that being, you get £200 for every £10 that somebody spends, you get £2,000 for somebody who spends, so that was roughly £6,000 in commission just from having one sentence. And this is why I love my active team, because our whole mentality and our whole ethos is self-reflection, is self-assessment. After every conversation, or before every conversation, you get yourself in the right mindset for the conversation that you're going to be having. And after every conversation, you reflect on what went well, what you could have done better, where you maybe lost them, where they seem to be buying in, and getting all the yeses. How many yeses are you getting from your people when you're actually speaking to them on the phone? And there's so many different techniques. You've got to understand your vision. You've got to understand all the different methods in terms of marketing, from Google ads to Facebook ads, YouTube ads, social media, organic marketing, the differences between Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. This doesn't happen overnight. I've invested $147,000 now since 2016 in personal and business development, and the return has been 1.1 million in sales. Now that is an awesome ROI. That is only with £9,000 worth of Facebook ad spend that I've spent this year, because everything up until that point was organic, and that was a mistake. I should have started Facebook ads much sooner. So my message to you, what isn't being fed, what isn't growing, is rotting and dying. And you're rotting and dying, your brain is rotting and dying if you're not continuing to feed it. If you're not continuing to learn and grow, then you're not going to be getting the results that you need to. You need to look at where you need the most amount of help. What one thing can you learn today that's going to have the biggest impact on your business? Antonio, one of my coaching clients, we went down and I said, right, talk to me about all the problems that you've got in your business. And he listed probably 18. And as he listed out those 18, I went through and went, right, let's categorize them. Which ones are marketing? Tick, 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 tick. Which ones are process? Tick, 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 tick. Which ones are people? Tick, 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 tick. And then we actually looked and said, right, these people ones, if we resolve the process, would that knock on that? And we created this whole thing. And the long story short is, by putting a new process into the business, by putting a system into the business, that then solved almost 60% of the problems that he was currently experiencing as the owner. And this is the thing. What's the one thing that you can do today that's going to move the dial and make you more efficient, more effective, and get you more results? When you understand that, when you learn, when you invest in yourself, when you surround yourself with the right people, when you have the right coaches and the right mentors, like I've got 160 online mentees, you ask me for help, you get the answers, you get the fast track results. So invest in yourself, because the more you grow, the more your opportunities for your business to grow, your life to grow, your relationships to grow. Everything gets so much easier, but it's got to start with you. I'd love to know what you think on this. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if this has given you something to think about. Where could you potentially put your effort into? What's the one thing that you could change right now to move that dial in the business? I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, now's the time to become pro.